Today we will discuss another specific circuit called capacitive circuit. So far we have discussed about resistive circuit and inductive circuit and all about them. This is last one, which is a specific and basic circuit for alternating current. So capacitive circuit is another a special or particular circuit which consists of only a capacitor as passive elements or consumer elements and AC source as active elements, and no other elements present there in the circuit, then such circuit is called capacitive circuit. Now our motive is to look out the phase difference between the current and voltage in such a circuit, and we have to check out whether current and voltage are in the same phase or current leads voltage or voltage leads currents. That all these things has to be checked out, and thereafter we have to show the same with the help of graph and then phasor diagram. So let us start with, as all of us already familiar with the alternating EMF, which is given as A equal to E naught sin omega t and C.
शो कर रहा है.
Hello, yes.
फर्स्ट पेज ही शो कर रहा है.
स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रहा है. हेलो
सर हो रहा है लेकिन
पेज नहीं दिखा रहा है. ओके, डोंट वरी, जस्ट वेट. ओके, now is it visible?
Yes sir.
Okay, no problem. Now what I am saying, you same screen is being shared to you. Is there any problem even now?
Yes sir.
Still there is problem?
No.
Okay. So you see that alternating EMF is denoted as E equal to E naught sin omega t, because this is instantaneous value of alternating EMF, that is a value of AC source go on changing continuously. Sometimes it is positively high, sometimes it is negatively high, sometimes it is zero. So a value of alternating EMF at any instant of time is called instantaneous value, and we write this as equation 1. You see here omega t is the phase of the alternating EMF, and you can say this is equation 1. Now let us check out from the concept of capacitor. We have seen that capacitance of a capacitor is just equal to ratio of charge to potential difference across the terminal of the capacitor. So here EMF is nothing but what? Potential difference across the terminal of the AC source. So you can say that E equal to Q by C equal to Q by E. So Q equal to C into E, where C is capacitance and E is the instantaneous EMF. So here C into E naught sin omega t. This is the instantaneous value of charge, and you see here the charge that is on the capacitor at any instant of time is a function of time t. That's why this charge can be differentiated with respect to time t in order to have electric current. So far we have discussed about this one, so keep this as equation 1, and then our motive is to determine expression for electric current. So for that one, first of all, we have to derive expression for instantaneous value of electric charge on the capacitor. So we have taken from here, you see here. Now we differentiate this charge, instantaneous charge, with respect to time t, so that we can have electric current. We can have electric current, and you see here, as capacitance C is constant, E naught is the amplitude of alternating EMF. So this to C into E is constant, and differentiation of sine omega t is cos omega t into omega. So you see here, I equal to E naught upon 1 by omega c. Actually, it will be C into E naught into omega into cos omega t, but in order to have just wait. Yes, after differentiating, actually you get the expression C into E naught into omega into cos omega t. This is the actual expression that we get after differentiation of charge Q, and thereafter we have to write in the format of EMF divided by resistance. So we take the reciprocal of omega c and then divide with that one, so that expression will remain the same, and this 1 by omega c itself is called capacitive reactance. As there we have discussed inductive reactance, here we will discuss about capacitive reactance. So 1 by omega c is denoted as XC, that is capacitive reactance. And here we see that phase difference, as here is cos omega t, so in place of cos omega t we write here omega t plus pi by 2. In place of cos omega t we write here sine omega t plus pi by 2, because here is sinusoidal, voltage is sinusoidal, so we have to put the electric current in the sinusoidal form or as a function of sine. So we have to convert this cosine function into sine one. So we have converted it as omega t plus pi by 2, sine omega t plus pi by 2 equal to cos omega t. So there is no problem. Now here I naught has come from where? Try to understand. E naught is the EMF, amplitude of alternating EMF, and divided by capacitive reactance or resistance, you can say. So 1 upon omega c is the capacitive reactance. So E naught divided by capacitive reactance is nothing but what? Current amplitude. So we see, and see, this is equation 2. And here you see I naught equal to E naught divided by 1 by omega c. And 1 by omega c is nothing but what? Capacitive reactance. And according to Ohm's law, ratio of alternating EMF divided by current, alternating current, equal to resistance. So 1 by omega c is capacitive reactance and is denoted by XC. XC is the capacitive reactance, and its SI unit will be ohm, because it acts as resistance. It behaves as a resistance. Its dimension will remain same as that of the resistance. So its SI unit will remain same. Now say this is the equation 2. Now in order to view the phase difference between alternating EMF and alternating current across the capacitive circuit, we have to look over the phase. Here omega t is the phase and here omega t plus pi by 2, because here it's sine function, here is also sine function. So only we have to check out the phase. So we clearly see here that current leads the voltage by a phase difference of plus 90 degree or pi by 2 radian. So in previous circuit, we have seen that in inductive circuit, current lags behind the voltage by a phase difference of pi by 2, because there were negative phase difference minus pi by 2 and here positive phase difference. So we can say that current leads the voltage by a phase difference of pi by 2 radian. Now here current leads the EMF by pi by 2 radians. Now we have to view the graphical variation of current and voltage across the capacitive circuit. What happens? You see, when voltage is 0 at the time t equal to 0, then current is maximum, because when you put here t equal to 0, then this omega t becomes 0, then sine 90 equal to 1, so current becomes maximum. So this starts from I naught and EMF starts from 0. So this is the variation. So when voltage is lowest, current is maximum, and when voltage becomes maximum, current becomes 0, and when again voltage becomes 0, then current becomes maximum in reverse direction, and when voltage becomes maximum in reverse direction, then current becomes again 0, and so on. Now phasor diagram for capacitive circuit, let us check out. This is the instantaneous value of EMF and this is the instantaneous value of alternating current across the capacitive circuit. So let us draw a phasor diagram for this circuit. We will draw an arrow with the taking magnitude of amplitude of alternating EMF, and then we draw phasor of current. You see that current leads the voltage by a phase difference of 90 or pi by 2 radian. Therefore, this phasor of current will be in the second quadrant. In case of inductor, phasor of current was in the fourth quadrant, and you see here omega t plus pi by 2 equal to phasor of current with respect to a phase of current with respect to this reference axis. Now move ahead. Now few things that is to be noted, very important. Variation of inductive reactance with frequency. Inductive reactance is that is resistance offered by the inductor to alternating current is called inductive reactance. In the previous class, we have already derived the expression for inductive reactance, that is XL equal to omega L. So let us see how this inductive reactance depends on frequency. So far we have discussed that resistance is independent of frequency. That's why resistance will work in the same way for direct current as well as alternating current. But capacitive reactance and inductive reactance is a frequency dependent resistance, so it will behave differently for AC and DC. Let us see. As we see here, ratio of alternating EMF, amplitude of alternating EMF to that of amplitude of alternating current is just equal to resistance. So you see here XL equal to omega L, and you know that omega equal to 2 pi nu. Nu is the frequency, linear frequency, and has unit hertz. So we see here that inductive reactance XL is directly proportional to frequency. As frequency increases, inductive reactance will increase. That is, resistance offered by inductor to alternating current will increase. In our India, power stations supply AC, alternating current, to various part of the country at 50 hertz, or even on worldwide, various country having supply of current at 50 hertz frequency, except America. In America, power plant is designed or established in such a way that it will supply AC supply at a frequency of 60 hertz in America, but in our India, it is of 50 hertz. That's why if you purchase some electronic gadget at America, and then you want to use it at India, in India, it will be hazardous. That means electronic gadget will be damaged, because for the purpose to use the gadget at America itself, the gadget has been designed such that it can work at 60 hertz frequency. On the other hand, in India, only supplies of 50 hertz. So same gadget will not work here in India at the 50 hertz frequency. Therefore, when you go there, America or American market and ask for electronic gadget, they will ask you that whether you will use this electronic gadget at whether it will be used in America or it will be used abroad. If you say that it will be used in India or abroad of America, then they will give you another electronic gadget that will work on 50 hertz frequency supply. So we see here that inductive reactance is directly proportional to frequency of alternating current. So you see here omega equal to 2 pi f. F is the frequency. So it means XL is directly proportional to F for the given value of inductance. So you see here, and if you plot the graph between frequency of AC supply and inductive reactance, you will get the graph as a straight line. And you see here, yeah, this is the graph. And this graph indicates the graph between inductive reactance and frequency of AC supply. So slope of graph will represent inductance of the inductor. You see here, if you take the frequency this side, then XL upon F equal to 2L, 2 pi L. Pi is constant, so only variable thing is F, L. Therefore, ratio of XL to F is indicating the slope of the graph, and hence this graph, green graph, indicates inductance. More is the slope, more will be inductance. Now, variation of capacitive reactance with frequency. It is just opposite of that of the inductance, inductive reactance. You see here, I naught equal to E naught upon 1 upon omega c, that is xc equal to 1 upon omega c. So here we see that capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to angular frequency. So capacitive reactance will be inversely proportional to linear frequency. You see here omega equal to 2 pi f. So x equal to 1 upon 2 pi fc, as c is constant, that is capacitance of a capacitor. So for a given capacitor, capacitive reactance will be inversely proportional to frequency. So more is the frequency, less will be reactance. More is the frequency, less will be reactance. On the other hand, more is the frequency of AC supply, more will be inductive reactance. So when inductive reactance is more, then capacitive reactance is less. So you can say that these two reactants behave opposite to one another. And because of this behavior, it has brought a revolutionary change in our electronic era. Because of this behavior, now we people are having various types of electronic gadget and supercomputer and Android and a smartphone and even Android TV or a smart television. Because of this behavior, this is minute behavior, has led our human civilization to digitalized. Or so we people are now living in the digital world, and you must remember that only these three circuits has brought this great change in our civilization. Let us check out graphical variation of capacitive reactance with frequency. You will see that here capacitance is inversely proportional to frequency. So graph will be curve line. You see here, as frequency increases, graph will touch the frequency axis. And at infinity, if frequency becomes infinite, then capacitive reactance becomes 0. So a few more points to be noted down. So if you apply the inductive circuit for DC supply, then resistance offered by inductor to DC supply will be infinite, because DC supply has 0 frequency. DC supply has 0 frequency. So inductor will allow the DC current to pass through inductor and will offer no resistance, no opposition to DC supply. Inductor will offer no resistance to DC supply, because you know that frequency of DC supply is 0, because DC is not changing its polarity at any instant of time. It is a directional current. That's why its frequency is 0. So for DC supply, resistance offered by inductor is 0. So DC supply will smoothly pass, DC current or direct current will smoothly pass through inductor. No hindrances and no opposition will be there. Now what will happen if a capacitive circuit is connected with DC supply in place of AC? Then what will happen? Then DC supply will be stopped, because DC supply has 0 frequency and capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to frequency. So 1 upon 0 equal to infinity. That means capacitive circuit offer infinite resistance to DC supply or direct current. It is because of this reason, when you connect a battery with the terminal of a capacitor, then charge supplied by the battery gets stored in the space between the plates of capacitor, and hence capacitor used to store the electric charge by offering infinite resistance to DC supply. Now question is that, will capacitor be used to store electrical energy when it is connected with the alternating current or AC. So let us check out here. Including inductance L cannot decrease direct current. It means inductor does not offer any resistance to direct current. On the other hand, capacitor offers resistance to direct current and infinite resistance to direct current. Hello. Yes, 9 minutes left. Now try to understand. So we have learned that inductance cannot decrease direct current, but it can only decrease alternating current, because alternating current is a frequency dependent current. That's why inductor offers a resistance depending on frequency. More is the frequency, more will be resistance. And inductor causes decrease in alternating current in the circuit. On the other hand, capacitance allow the alternating current to flow through it, but block DC, because capacitor offers infinite resistance to DC, but finite resistance to AC. That's why if you design a filter circuit to filter out AC and DC, you can use a circuit connected with capacitor. So capacitor will allow AC to pass, but will block the DC. So a filter circuit can be framed or designed or fabricated using capacitor and inductor in different ways, either in series or in parallel, depending on the purpose to be fulfilled. Now, as we have learned that individual resistive circuit, inductive circuit, and capacitive circuit and their behavior. Now, what will happen if inductive circuit, capacitive circuit, and resistive circuit all together combined in series, that is inductor, capacitor, and resistors, all are combined in series? Then what happens to the effective resistance offered by the combination of the circuit? And what about the phase difference between the supplied alternating EMF and alternating current across the circuit? That we have to check out. This is one of the important one. Here we will talk about the effective resistance offered by the circuit containing inductor, capacitor, and resistor, all together connected in series with the AC supply. Let us check out. You see here, this is AC source, and all these are inductor, capacitor, and resistor connected in series. Then inductor offers a resistance XL, capacitor offers a resistance XC, and resistor offers a resistance R. So total resistance offered by this combination is called impedance of LCR circuit, because LCR circuit is a specific circuit which consists of inductor, capacitor, and resistor as a passive element connected in series with the AC source. So let us check out. We know here alternating EMF supplied by AC source equal to E naught sine omega t, and we say this is equation 1. The applied EMF appears as a voltage drop across each of the circuit elements like resistor, capacitor, and inductor. So voltage across capacitor, voltage across resistor appears as a VR. R is the subscript, and VR equal to what? Minus IR, according to Ohm's law. Now VC is the voltage across the capacitors. So here VC equal to current into capacitive resistance, that is capacitive reactance, that is VC equal to minus I into XC. Similarly, VL equal to minus I into XL, because you know that same current will pass through each of the components of the circuit because they are connected in series, but resistance offered by each of them will be different. That's why voltage across the elements, inductor, capacitor and resistor will be different. So in series, if you add up all these voltage together, this voltage must be equal to supply voltage, that is equal to E naught sin omega t. So you see here, we have already learned that current and voltage across resistive circuit are in the same phase. So this is the voltage across resistor VR, and this is current across phasor diagram of current is coinciding with the phasor diagram of voltage. Now we have learned that the current in case of inductive circuit differ by a phase difference of pi by 2 with respect to that of the current, that of the voltage. So voltage across the inductor makes an angle of pi by 2 radian with respect to phasor representation of current or phasor representation of the voltage across resistor. Now we check out phasor representation of voltage across the capacitor. We see that voltage across capacitor differ by a phase difference of pi by 2. So it means voltage across inductor and voltage across capacitor forms a straight line and anti-parallel to each of them. So you see that this is the result here, because you see as these two are directed opposite to one another, therefore their net difference will be VL minus VC, and VL minus VC equal to this one. And now we can apply the concept of vector addition. So if you say this is along x-axis and this is along y-axis, so resultant vector will be along this one. So VL minus VC represents these sides, and I or VR represents these sides. So as this is voltage, so this we must take this voltage, and this is the resultant. This is the EMF supplied by the AC source. So AC source, EMF supplied by the AC source differ by a phase of phi with respect to current I. Therefore, if you apply the resultant concept of resultant vector, these two vectors make an angle of 90 degrees. So resultant vector will be VR square root under plus VL minus VC whole square. So this is the effective voltage across LCR circuit, and hence we can replace this one in terms of current, because this is effective EMF, and then divided by effective resistance of the circuit, then we get current. So here this Z is effective resistance called impedance of the circuit. Now time is running out, so just learn about that. And this is the phase, and next day I will discuss about this. Just wait, because time, I think only 1 minute, less than 1 minute. Yes.